Task 7, Bank Reconciliation. So the statement which we have imported on 0, the items are sitting as unreconciled, and we need to allocate each transaction by matching to either invoices or any of the nominal code which it applies to. So bank reconciliation means the transactions which are appeared on your bank statement, they are recording it on 0. So basically telling 0 to record this into account transaction which will go on your year-end accounts, either on profit and loss account or or balance sheet. So on bank reconciliation, on the I hope that you have completed month 2 in the petty cash task on the previous task, and also transfer the £500 as 1st June 19. And just to confirm here, the closing balance at 1st June 19 must be 96620. So if you have entered all the transaction, you can just cross verify to petty cash account and go to petty cash account, and your closing balance must be 96620 after completing May task as well. So let's go to bank reconciliation task. So to do that, we need to select the bank account which we want to reconcile, and then click on reconcile tab. So we are doing the current account first for April, May and June. So the statement is already here on your task book, on your course book, and the transactions are already imported in our previous task. And as you can see, the closing balance is 91,468. And let's do that one by one on current account. So we go to dashboard. And as you can see, at the moment, there are 13 items sitting as unreconciled because we have already reconciled 3 petty cash transactions, the transfer transactions. So if you see here in the screenshot, there were 16 items, but we have already reconciled 3 petty cash transactions. So there are 13 items, and you can see the balance is matching 91468 as per the bank statement, and which is 91468. So let's do one by one. And you click on reconcile tab. And as you can see, the amounts which we have already entered are already identified by 0 and they have turned into green. So these are the one which are a possible match recommended by 0, and you need to click OK in order to approve that. So for example, Sage UK, if you remember, we have done this as a repeating bill which goes every month as £30 as a Sage subscription, which is recorded by us, and there are, you can see there are other 11 possible matches. So we have done repeating bill for entire year. So there are 12 bills sitting every month, and the first one is 1st April 2019. So we have the supporting information for this. So I'm going to say OK and reconcile that. That will just reconcile one item, and now you have 12 items left. The next is Northern Bank, and it's a rent coming in the business. So let's go on your course book and have a look. We have the reference material here. So as you can see, for reference, there is remittance advice from Northern Bank, and it's 14,400, invoice is 012, and it matches with the information. So we are happy with that, and let's reconcile it. The next one is supplier payment, which is money going out, mobile hook management 4608. So let's go on the course book, and we have the information for this as well. And this is mobile hook management supplier payment details, and this is 4608, and it matches with the date, which is 15th of April, 19th of April 2019, which is perfect, and say OK. Because sometimes you can pay to same supplier, the same amount every month, and in order to match that correctly and not picking up the wrong transaction, the supporting material is always useful. The next one is rent coming in the business on 25th April 19, 12,000 pound, and you can see here it's recorded here on our reference material. So let's say okay. 25 pound is bank interest which is received, and in previous task we have already mentioned this that this is a bank interest, and we can say here bank interest, National Bank, and let's say interest income and say okay. Next is Sage UK again because this is May transaction and this goes first of every month, which is 30 pound. So another transaction and let's say okay. This is the bank transfer which is recorded in our material, and this is going to credit card account. So let's transfer to credit card and say okay. Now for Mia's insurance, as you can see, is mentioned here on the material is 460 pound. But if you look here, this is not identified by zero because if you look at the notes on your course book, it says apply credit note to Mia's insurance for 125 pound. So let's do that by going to contacts. So you go to contacts and all contacts and look for Mia's insurance, and let's allocate the credit. So we can just reduce the bill amount by allocating the credit. So in the search box, just type Mass Insurance and click on that, and you will see there is one invoice and one credit note. So let's allocate this credit note to this invoice. So we can have 460 pound payable and we can just reconcile that. So open the credit note, and on the credit note screen, under credit note options, click on allocate credit. That's how you can allocate the credit to the invoice. So the amount we need to allocate is 125 pound and say allocate credit. Once that's done, the credit has been allocated and now the amount payable is 460 pound. And as you can see, now it's been identified by zero, which was not done previously, and say OK. The next is HMRC corporation tax payment, and it's already there on your course book. So let's do that and say corporation tax payable, and that's done. Now we have approached to June 19, and as per our repeating bill, there is a Sage invoice again for 1st June and say OK. Next one is 5th of June 19, rent coming in as 6,000 pound, and it's there on the statement with the remittance advice, so which is matching on 5th of June, and the invoice number is 019, which is perfect, and say OK. Next is Newtown Builders Limited, and its paid amount 3,000 pound, 8th of June, and that's done. And the last transaction is Quality Motors 699, which is already on our supplier list. So let's say OK. And we have reconciled the current account fully, and the balance is 91468. This balance must match with the closing balance of bank statement, and which is correct here. So this is the end point where you can confirm that you have done reconciliation correctly. So in a similar way, we will do the petty cash, but before that we need to complete some reports. So the task are complete the bank reconciliation procedure for 3 months, which we have done already. And the next I would like you to complete is print out reconciliation report for 30th June 2019. So in order to do that, let's go to current account, and on the right hand side you see reconciliation report. So click on that, and the date is 30th of June 19, select the date. Make sure you select the correct bank, which is current account, and say update, and you will get the report here. So this is the report. You can print the report, save as draft, or you can export to PDF, Excel, or Google Sheets. The third one is print out bank reconciliation summary report for April, May, and June. So in order to do that, go to accounting, reports. So let's go to accounting, reports, and under reports, go to accounting again, and here is bank reconciliation summary. So in that, we need to go for 3 months, April, May, and June. Select the bank account. We need current account, and let's do the April 1st and update. And you can see this is just a monthly report just for April. And similarly, you can change it to the next one, which is 31st May, update. Any every time when you select the criteria, make sure you click on update button. And this is the monthly. Again, you can export, publish, print, or save. So this is the next one. Now let's reconcile petty cash account in the similar way what we have done for current account. So go to petty cash this time, and here as you can see there is a difference in the balance because we haven't reconciled the transactions yet. So let's do one by one. So what we need to do is we haven't imported the bank statement. As you can see, there is nothing in the bank statement on petty cash because we haven't imported anything, but we have manually entered one by one transaction in the petty cash. So what we need to do is, in order to do that, steps are given here on screenshot, and then let's do one by one, and we need to select mark as reconcile. So the step one is go into petty cash, go to accounting transaction, select the individual transactions one by one, and go to options and say mark as reconcile. And you get a small pop-up message here, and then say mark as reconcile. So when you are doing one by one, you are reconciling petty cash account. Go to petty cash account again, select the next as you can see this is green now, so this is reconcile. Go to the next one, open the transaction, options, mark as reconcile, and mark as reconcile again. So let's do that one by one and complete this reconciliation as well. And the next one, so let's do that one by one. If you have made any error and you would like to rectify this in petty cash account, you can do that at the same time. So by going into the transaction here, and instead of doing reconciliation, you can just edit it and change or make the changes to that particular transaction. If you want to delete it, you can just say remove and redo. So there are various options. You can copy as well. And let's do reconcile and go to petty cash account again. There are few more to go. Reconcile, and we are nearly there. And last two transactions which we need to reconcile in order to match the closing balance. as per 0 and as per petty cash account. And the last one which we need to reconcile, which is June 19, mark as reconcile, and that's done. And go to dashboard. And as you can see on the petty cash, the statement balance is 96620. And as a final check, I have already noted here, there is a note. After reconciliation, the balance as per 0 must agree to closing balance 96620. So make sure when you complete this task, your balance should be this. So that's done. Now the next task is printing out the reports. So we have already reconciled as per task 6. Print the reconciliation report as at 30th June, April 19 and May 19. So similarly, go to petty cash account and click on reconciliation report. And here we are going to select April 19, update, and you get the report here. And similarly, you can do that for May 19, update, and same functions here, save as top, publish, print, and you can export into Excel, PDF, and Google Sheets. So that's the second prints. Third one is print out reconciliation for May. So you can just repeat that for May 19. Fourth one is print out bank reconciliation summary report. So again, follow the steps and what we have done for current account, same steps, and select the date. So that's how you can complete the bank current account and petty cash reconciliation and report task. Thank you.